Charles Peabody with us from Portales Partners. I want to continue this discussion. Bring up a chart here. It's about the numerator. I thank our complete staff in the control room for spelling numerator, because I wouldn't have known how to do it. Okay, here's the chart, what Ken Lewis did, what Mr. Moynihan has to deal with, and the rollover. And you say Basel III, the denominator is the amount of assets on their balance sheet.
On a risk-weighted basis, and that's about 1.8 trillion forecasted for the year end 2012.
And above it is the mystery. Explain the mystery.
Well, B of A has given us the denominator. They have not given us the numerator, but they've told you that they want to be at a goal of 6.75% on that Basel III Tier 1 common. So you can back into the numerator at 121 billion. The problem is you don't know for sure what the starting point is today, and we think it's around 90 billion or a little less than 90 billion. So we think the amount of equity that they have to raise is 30 billion. Now you can raise that through internal generation. Right. And they're earning about 3 billion a quarter on a core basis right now. So in the next 6 quarters, they'd earn 18 billion.
18 billion, they're halfway there.
All right. Then they're going to shed non-core assets, and then they're going to, such as China Construction Bank, and let's say they do another 5 billion gain there.
Are they at fault for not explaining this to people as clearly as you just explained it to me?
Well, they're assumptions, and one of the unknowns is what happens to the DTAs, the deferred tax assets, and that's a very difficult thing.
Jonathan Weil's written about that for Bloomberg View as well. Here's the KBW index. Let's bring it up. They're cheap. They're cheaper now. Yes, they are. Do you buy the banks today, Charles Peabody?
I am, yes. You know, I'm a believer that we have priced in a no-growth scenario at this level. Probably not a recession, but certainly a no-growth scenario. Which
is your favorite bank? You mentioned there were others on a relative basis you like more attractive than $6 Bank of America.
No, I think the core earnings power at JPMorgan, even in a no-growth environment, is pretty strong. I think they can earn $1.10, $1.20 a share per quarter.
Do we have the same mystery of their numerator on Basel III as we do of Bank of America?
No, they've been more forthcoming.
I'm baffled by this. I never give my opinion. I never give my opinion on the show, and I'm going to hedge this as I can. May I suggest I'm baffled that they haven't been, quote-unquote, more forthcoming?
There are two distinctions. I mean, Citi hasn't given us the numerator either, and they have big DTAs as well. And I think that's the difficult part to understand, because that gets subtracted from the numerator, but it also it acts as a hyper bolstering item in whether you go up or down in your capital creation.
Can they raise capital now? If Bank of America had to go out and raise a modest number of billion, who would be there to buy the marginal share?
I think if the marketplace felt that it filled a hole and that was the last capital in, they could raise it.
The last cash call.
Yeah, but the problem is right now is when you have lawyers, regulators, and politicians involved in your future, there's tremendous uncertainty.
Final question, if I can. This is really important. We've seen Euribor, OIS, European short-term paper markets not freeze up. I don't want to be inflammatory, but they're ugly. They're moving. They're moving. We covered that this week. U.S. LIBOR OIS really hasn't made the same move, has it?
No. I mean, your LIBOR is, I think, 3 times the level of LIBOR. So it says the liquidity strains are more European than domestic.
This has been very valuable. Okay, you can leave now. Charles Peabody, I'm kidding. Thank you so much.